Today we're going to start to talk about the three branches of government. There are three branches. You have the legislative, which is made up of Congress. Congress' main responsibility is to make laws. Congress has two different parts to it. It has the Senate and the House of Representatives. All of these people that serve in both houses are elected. You also have the executive branch, which is made up of the president. The president is elected also. You also have the judicial branch, which is made up of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court justices that serve on the Supreme Court are appointed. They're appointed for life. In the executive branch, the president has many responsibilities. He's the leader of the United States. His duties are to enforce federal laws and recommend new ones. He also serves as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Marines. The President is also often called the Chief Legislator because one of his main responsibilities is to help pass laws. Also, any law has to cross his desk to meet approval. If he doesn't approve it, the President can veto the law or refuse to sign it, and basically it's dead after that. In the judicial branch of government, it's made up of the court systems. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. It was established by the Constitution. Other federal courts were established by Congress. Courts decide arguments. They decide about the meaning of laws, how laws are applied, whether laws break the rules of the Constitution. The Supreme Court justices are appointed by the President of the United States. They have to be confirmed by the Senate. Once they're confirmed by the Senate, then they will serve life terms. They can't be voted out. They can't be made to resign. They can resign on their own, but they're appointed to serve for life. The Supreme Court hears cases that have made their way through the lower court system. Over time, they make their way up. Eventually, they can be heard by the Supreme Court. There are more than 7,500 cases sent to the Supreme Court each year, and they only hear about 80 to 90. There are 9 Supreme Court justices, one of the 9 being the Chief Justice. The justices of the Supreme Court are appointed by the President, approved by the Senate, and can serve for life. Inside the legislative branch, you have 2 houses of Congress. You have the House of Representatives and you have the Senate. The House of Representatives has 435 seats. Each state has a designated amount of House members based on population. That's based on the Senate census that's taken every year. The Senate has equal amounts. Each state has 2 senators, which make up 100 total of Senate seats. This also makes up the total number of electoral votes for the Electoral College, which was 535. Members of Congress are elected by the people living in each state. They're not elected nationally, so they have districts that they serve in. So in those districts, the people vote for their representatives. You have House of Representatives, which is made up of the 435 that I mentioned earlier, and then you have the Senate seats also. In each one, the state's people vote for those people to serve. Just like the House of Representatives, to serve in the Senate, you must be a United States citizen, but you do not have to be born in the United States like you have to be the president. To be the president, you have to be a born U.S. citizen. But to be able to serve in the House of Representatives or the Senate, you can be naturalized, which means you moved here from another country, but you went through that process to become a citizen of the United States. To be a senator, you have to be at least 30 years old. You have to have been a U.S. citizen for the past 9 years, and you have to live in the state that you're going to represent. You also serve a 6-year term, which means over that 6-year period, after that 6-year period ends, you'll have to run for re-election. Congress has many jobs that they do. Their main job is making law. They also make tax laws. They decide how tax money is going to be spent. Just about everything that they do, though, involves making laws. They are lawmakers.